Good morning, everyone. My name is Steve Jenks. I'm a representative of the PhD program in higher education here at the Morgridge College of Education, and I'm honored to open today's ceremony with an important land acknowledgement. We would like to recognize that the University of Denver and the greater city of Denver reside within the traditional territories of Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute. We recognize the descendant communities of the Northern Cheyenne Tribe of Montana, the Northern Arapaho Tribe of Wyoming, the Southern Cheyenne and Arapaho Tribes of Oklahoma, the Southern Ute Indian Tribe, and the Ute Mountain Ute Tribe. We also acknowledge that over 40 different indigenous nations continue to be in relation with the lands currently called Colorado. Denver is home to many different citizens of indigenous nations, and we recognize their enduring presence on this land by paying respects to their elders, both past and present. Please take a moment to consider the legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and resettlement that bring us together today, and please join us in uncovering such truths at all public events. Now is the time to reflect upon and personally reconcile how the genocidal acts against indigenous communities intersect with our learning, collaboration, and sharing of knowledge. I'd now like to welcome Dean Michelle Knight Manuel to the stage.
Thank you. Good morning, and please be seated. First of all, I want to start out by saying congrats to the class of 2023. Woohoo! Welcome to Morgridge College of Education's 2023 spring commencement. My name is Michelle Knight Manuel, and I'm honored to be the Dean of the Morgridge College of Education. We are delighted, absolutely delighted, to be celebrating with you today in this extremely important doctoral hooding ceremony. We also want to acknowledge all those here today who have supported our graduate students on this amazing journey that they've been on for a few years. So first of all, I would like to ask the faculty of MCE if you would please stand. And if there's anyone in the audience, I don't know if there's any faculty member that might be in the audience. And I want us to give a round of applause to this extraordinary faculty. They have conducted research, taught, and are mentored many of our graduate students who are here today. So thank you. Second, let us thank the staff who are here throughout the auditorium, and many may be back at MCE setting up. And so I just want to say, wave your hand if you're one of the staff members who are supporting us today. Can we also give them a round of applause? Right. Thank you. And then finally, and equally important, I would like to ask your loved ones to stand. So if you're family members, if you're aunties, uncles, grandparents, friends, woohoo! Yes, yes. Thank you. We want to especially thank our loved ones for the financial, emotional, spiritual, and other kinds of support that they have provided to our graduate students throughout the years. And it really is very precious to have you here today. Triumphant and victorious. I hope that these are among the many emotions swirling around in your mind, body, spirit that are bringing you joy today. While this has been my first full year at DU, and I have to say, my husband came to celebrate with me with my first full year here, so I'm very thankful to have support of my family here as well. And many of you have been living here in Colorado and in other states for several years on your way to your doctorate. Therefore, whether you have been living in New York, Colorado, Illinois, Florida, Washington, or even Saudi Arabia, we've all been grappling with the extreme, complex, challenging social issues of our time. Whether it's been a global pandemic, the social racial reckoning, depression of voter rights, dismantling of women's rights, the rewriting of minoritized histories, the impact of climate change on the waterways here in Colorado, the attack of the LGBTQIA community, the banning of books. Even as graduate students, I know that you have grappled with these social issues, and many of you have taken action on some of these social issues where you could. I remember being in graduate school, and right before my comps, my qualifying exams, I was out marching against anti-affirmative action in California. And I could remember someone saying to me, "Don't you think you're going to get in trouble for being out here marching rather than studying?" Yet I also knew that I could march for other students to come through the same university doors that I had an opportunity to go through and pass my comps at the same time. Thus, in the middle of some of the most unprecedented, challenging times, our graduate students have done it. You have persevered and completed the actions needed to earn one of the highest degrees in the land, the doctorate. Many of you may not be aware, but there are only 2% of people between the ages of 25 and 64 in the United States who have persevered to receive a doctorate. This is no easy feat. Woo, yes, give yourselves a hand. No easy feat. And as I look out and see all of our graduates who are joining the ranks of that 2%, I am filled with hope, joy, and optimism. Why? Why am I hopeful and optimistic? And knowing that you will fulfill the mission of the Morgridge College of Education to be a force for positive change in the lives of individuals, organizations, and communities. How do I know this? I know, first of all, as I recently shared at our MCE Student Awards ceremony, our faculty stand for social justice, and I know that they have mentored you well. Also, I looked at your dissertation titles, which emphasize such diverse topics as the critical thinking practices in rural secondary English classroom, Islamic studies, teaching perspectives, blended learning initiative, working on Hispanic serving institutions, and defining business as usual. Threaded throughout your topics are a range of theoretical frameworks such as community cultural wealth and testimonials, and a wide range of methodologies to address your complex questions such as critical discourse analysis, mixed method analysis, and a post-critical ethnographic and photographic and photo voice study. Your work is definitely ranging on the cutting edge to break new ground in our fields. We need it all. The range of topics you've explored, the methodologies you're engaging, the theoretical frameworks to address the educational and health inequities of our time. We need all of you and the work you will continue to do to make a difference in this world. As you move on to the next stage of your journey, the world is yours to change for the better. May you continue to be triumphant and victorious in all you do. Congratulations once again, and may you enjoy every minute of celebrating this major accomplishment. Thank you.
Greeting colleagues, congratulations students and family members. My name is Rashida Banerjee and I'm a professor and serve as the chair for the Department of Teaching and Learning Sciences. The department includes 4 different programs: school psychology, early childhood special education, teacher education, and the curriculum and instruction programs. We award 10 different degrees: PhD, EDD, EDS, and MA degrees, and 6 certificates across these 4 programs. We prepare K-12 elementary and secondary teachers, school psychologists, school leaders, gifted education professionals, and early childhood workforce to support development and learning of our youngest children. As teacher scholars, our faculty actively engage in community and scholarship activities through grants, publications, and service. Our students, with dedicated support and mentorship from their advisors, have been at the forefront of some exceptional groundbreaking research and practice. Today, we celebrate 15 of these outstanding students in the department and their faculty mentors. First, we celebrate 12 doctoral students in the Curriculum and Instruction program. A curriculum and instruction program equips students with the skills to construct and implement innovative, inclusive, and effective curricula. Through a balance of theory and hands-on practice, students are challenged to feed their intellectual curiosity, develop research skills, and build leadership potential. The EDD and PhD program prepares students for positions in academia, research institutes, community leadership positions, and think tanks. Now I invite Dr. Norma Haffenstein, Daniel L. Ritchie Endowed Chair in Gifted Education to honor our first doctoral student in the Curriculum Instruction program.
Good morning. Congratulations, graduates, families, and friends. It is truly an honor to celebrate with you all today. I have the pleasure of first introducing Dr. Heather L.D. Tobin. Heather's dissertation in practice was titled Examination of Formal Instructional Design Processes at Traditional Institutions of Higher Education in the United States Post-Pandemic Onset. Congratulations, Dr. Tobin.
Hi, everyone. Through my study, I collected perspectives of faculty course authors at DU who've participated in formal collaborative instructional design processes. My findings formed the basis for a set of recommendations for these processes that better meet course author needs at DU, and that can be replicated through similar studies across other institutions to establish research-based best practices for the current post-pandemic context. First, I'd like to acknowledge my advisor, Dr. Norma Haffenstein, Dr. Norma Haffenstein, for encouraging me to clarify and refine my ideas in ways that I never would have thought of on my own. And Dr. Paul Michalek, who encouraged me, sorry, I don't see you, there you are, who encouraged me when I first started this program to leverage my years of professional experience working across higher ed settings throughout my studies. I'd also like to acknowledge my parents, Tom and Kathy Deck, who've supported me unconditionally in all of my pursuits and who have both been incredible role models of lifelong learning. I'd like to thank my husband, Andrew, who created a loving and encouraging home base that allowed me to add doctoral studies on top of a full-time career, among other things. I wouldn't have been able to juggle all of it without your constant support. And thank you to my son, Trent, for inspiring me to stay curious and for always being ready to share a comforting hug and a happy giggle when I needed them the most. Finally, thank you to the rest of the Morgridge faculty and to my friends, colleagues, and classmates who've all contributed in valuable positive moments over the years.
Thank you, Dr. Tobin. It's my pleasure now to introduce Dr. Jabrais Pelegi, whose dissertation is titled Rethinking Bibliotherapy, Portraits of Gifted Adult Readers.
Sorry, I'm very short. This doctoral process has been a journey, and I step away from it wiser in many ways. As a teenager, I aspired to have a PhD, but never thought it would come to fruition. However, here I stand knowing I have accomplished something unique. I'm gonna be emotional. Apologies in advance. To my dearest husband, Christopher, thank you for being a true partner and supporting me and my ambitions and encouraging me. I'm grateful for your listening ear. I love you so very much. To my darling daughter, Genevieve Margaret, you are my miracle and wonderful in so many ways. I love watching you grow. Dream big, my love. To my mother, Corrine, thank you for teaching me the joy and wonder of books and filling our home with real and imagined worlds. You are my biggest cheerleader. To my sister, Jessie, my first reading partner. I've always loved sharing stories with you. I look forward to doing it again now that I have some free time. My gratitude and love to my father, Fred and Connie, to my grandparents, Michio, Artis, and Craig, and to Margaret and Fred, who I lost in the last 4 years pursuing this degree. And my extended family, Adam, June, Tammy, Dan, Amy Jo, Christine, Mark, Christiana, Stephanie, and Kyle, and my nieces and nephews, Remy, Sophia, Perry, Mara, Oliver, and Zane, who believe in your unexplored potential. To my committee, Dr. Bruce Ermacher, thank you for your insights and qualitative expertise. Dr. Paul Michaelick, thank you for your generosity of spirit and thoughts. Dr. Ben Ramke, thank you for reminding me about the power of annotation and the form that took in discussion many years ago. And finally, to Dr. Norma Haffenstein, my mentor and advisor, what a journey we have been on. Thank you for your support, guidance, friendship, and long conversations. Finally, thank you to my participants without whom this research would not be possible. You shared time and pieces of your soul, and I'm grateful to know each of you. Your courage and candidness are treasured and will live on. My research examined gifted adult self-perceptions of bibliotherapy or using books to meet social emotional needs. I created 7 portraits of gifted readers in their 30s to 50s that demonstrate that metacognition can take the place of actively engaging in verbal discussion. Commonalities across portraits included searching for identity, feelings of social isolation, self-doubt through imposter syndrome, reliance on audiobooks or podcasts in adulthood to allow for multitasking, the power of meaningful novels over lifespans, and using metacognition. The research explored self-determining bibliotherapy, a new form of bibliotherapy which occurs when using metacognition and applying the bibliotherapeutic process to reading, either covertly or overtly. Self-determining bibliotherapy will require us to broaden our definition of discussion to include internal conversations through engagement with metacognition, annotations, and overlapses of time. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Pelagi. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Heather Savory. Heather's dissertation in practice was titled Examination of Critical Thinking Practices in Rural Secondary Education Classrooms.
Thank you all for being here. I've spent my entire life in rural communities, and so it became really important for me to really understand how we're teaching rural students different than in metro areas. And so through my critical thinking lens, I observed and had interviews with English teachers across a rural community in 3 different communities. And what we really found was when we teach the students the language of critical thinking and teach them how to think at that level, they really can think at a deeper level and understand the world in which they're being provided rather than just being told how to think and what to think. I want to thank my professors that were part of all my classes, but specifically Dr. Michaelek, Dr. Haffenstein, and Dr. Hesbol, because you guys have had such an incredible impact over the last decade of this journey for me. I took a small break and then came back to be part of it. To my parents, thank you so much for always believing in me and always knowing that this is where I was going to be. To my incredible husband, who has been completely supportive of every crazy thing I do, because I don't just take on finishing my doctorate, I also take on 15 other things at the same time. And to all my cohort, both new and original, thank you guys for always being there, being that listening ear and that lifetime friends. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Savory. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the stage Dr. Amanda Reynolds. Amanda's dissertation in practice, Dr. Reynolds' dissertation in practice, is the diversity deficit in gifted education and advanced programs staffing, a phenomenological examination of Black and Latinx teachers' lived experiences. Congratulations.
Hi. So first and foremost, I would like to thank the wonderful support that I've had at DU throughout the past 3 years. To my dissertation committee, Dr. Maria Salazar and Dr. Floyd Cobb, thank you for your continual support and focused lens on equity and belonging. To my esteemed advisor, Dr. Norma Haffenstein, you are absolutely an inspiration, and I feel so blessed that I've been able to learn underneath you. Thank you. And to my cohort, you all have been the most amazing support system. Thank you for always getting it on those late nights and early mornings when it just seems like everything was impossible. To my family, I'd like to thank you for the love, support, and belief in my ability to do hard things. To my mom and dad, thank you for always having the confidence in me and giving me the courage to go after my dreams. I love you very much. To my darling children, Anderson, Loxley, and Rory, you are my sun, my moon, and my stars, my reason for everything that I do. I know all 3 of you are meant to do great things in our world, and I hope I have shown you that it is possible with a little hard work and determination to be the change. I love you 3 the mostest. And finally, to my most loyal champion, my husband, Mr. Reynolds. Thank you for being there from the moment I blink awake to the very end of every day. Our conversations around belonging, equity, the human condition, and our hopes and dreams for the future have inspired so much of what I aim to accomplish in my professional career. Your unconditional love and confidence in my mission are what got me through when I wanted to give up. This accomplishment is dedicated to you, and I love you forever. Throughout this research, it has become clear that the field cannot successfully talk about ways to better recruit and retain Black and Latinx teachers in gifted and advanced programming without lifting up the lived experiences of those teachers. Their voices must be put at the forefront of these conversations. Public school policy and practice changes from increasing opportunities for Black and Latinx students to experience gifted and advanced programming as students, to addressing the lack of culturally responsive gifted education training in both teacher preparation as well as in-service professional development offerings, are all small steps that would make big impact in fostering a sense of belonging for all in gifted and advanced education. Through this study, the need for greater Black and Latinx teacher representation in gifted and advanced programming has become very evident. High ability and potential lie in and across every population, and it is time that we systemically provide the support to ensure that our nation's gifted and advanced teaching staff provides representation for all.
Congratulations, Dr. Reynolds. It is now my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Dr. Brett Garner.
Hi, y'all. I'm Dr. Brett Garner in the Curriculum Instruction Program, and it is my pleasure to call to the stage Dr. Christine E. Hood. Dr. Hood's dissertation is titled Elementary Pre-Service Math Teachers Evolving Dispositions Through a Math Methods Course, a Mixed Methods Study.
Good morning. Thank you so much for being together in community and celebration with all of us. First, I want to talk about my own positionality. Through constant critical reflection, conversations with colleagues, students, their families, countless years of studying, I came to understand that math is political and is heavily shaped by race, gender, and disability. My teaching disrupts the notion that mathematical proficiency has this unequivocal and unearned privilege that continues to preserve masculinity, whiteness, meritocracy, and power. I want the math that I teach to include rather than exclude. I believe that math is multifaceted, non-hierarchical, and deeply connected to humans, their cultures, and their lived experiences. I also believe math is creative, flexible, and fluid. Above all, math should promote joy. Although math is often thought of as neutral and bias resistant, I align my teaching with critical scholars who argue that math is a socio-political space embedded with contexts that determine the value of knowledge, power, and identity. Over the past 3 years, I have had the honor to co-create elementary math curriculum for a graduate teacher preparation program here at DU with my advisor, Brett Garner. I can't begin to thank Brett enough for that opportunity and the copious other opportunities that she has provided for me. I would never have made it here without you and your loving support. I appreciate you more than I can put into words. I collected and analyzed data for my mixed methods dissertation in the latest iteration of the elementary math methods course, fall of 2023. Through my dissertation, we sought to teach the course in ways that disrupted the dominant narratives of mathematics by teaching through a rehumanizing, ambitious, and equitable framework. This study has made a huge impact on our teachers and therefore their current and future students. Our course began to break the cycle of dehumanization for our pre-service teachers, and all of our pre-service teachers left our classroom with a more positive disposition than when they started. I'm grateful to my participants beyond words, proud that you wanted to be teachers in 2023, and grateful that you were willing to be vulnerable and honest with me about your feelings around math. Some of my pre-service teachers said this class has been solely rehumanizing. The love, laughter, play, and permission to mess up was incredible. You and Brett saw us as humans and connected with us as people. I no longer feel insecure when I'm not understanding something in math, which is not typically the case. I no longer dread having to learn math anymore. Mama, thank you so much for always believing in me and deeply supporting me through all 26 years of school to infinity and beyond. You are the foundation for this work. Dad, thanks for constantly reminding me that whatever I put my mind to, I can do. An enormous thank you to all my other friends, family, and colleagues for their consistent support throughout this process. And lastly, I would be remiss to not thank my dog, Nakia, for braving those long nights and providing top-tier emotional support.
Congratulations, Dr. Hood. And now I'm excited to bring to the stage Dr. Amal Abdulmohsen Al-Saif. Dr. Al-Saif's dissertation is titled Islamic Studies Teachers' Perspectives of Applying Technology in Saudi Arabia Elementary Schools.
Hello, everyone, and marhaba. I'm delighted to be here in this hooding ceremony. And it's my pleasure to thank my doctor, advisor, Dr. Garner, and as well all the faculty member I study under. Also, I want to thank all family members who are attending now or supporting from distance. Also, my father, who flew all the way from Saudi Arabia just to attend this day. So thank you, Dr. Abdulmohsen. As well, I want to thank my husband, Osama, my children, Nasser, Abdulmohsen, Aliyah, and Rima, as well as my mother back home, which is hopefully seeing us through the Zoom right now, Noura. So thank you so much. Well, actually, commencement speech are challenging. Perhaps because they attempt to embody feeling and emotions in the form of words. To be honest, it took me longer than I thought to prepare for this speech. At some point, it was easier to write an essay on any topic than prepare for this talk. Now that I have it already, I would like to tell everyone that our graduation from this university is a privilege for us all. During my career, from my childhood until I obtained my doctoral degree, I went through a large number of schools that varied in their places, teachers, and curricula. But I can say the University of Denver was distinguished for its ethnic and cultural diversity. And this made me feel I really belong to this university community. In this society, I was able to be who I am, to show my religion, and to represent my identity, to be proud, and to be loud. In the end, this ceremony aims to represent the transition from one period of our life to the next. Hopefully, after our separation upon this achievement, we will remember that we all share humanity, regardless of our differences, and strive to make the world a better place. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Al-Saif. Next, I'm so pleased to introduce Dr. Crystal Giles. Dr. Giles's dissertation is titled Moving from Theory to Practice, Examining Teaching Mathematics for Social Justice in an Elementary School Classroom.
Oh, I'm short too, so, okay. Well, hello. It's really hard to put into words what this program has meant to me. As a student who emerged from a dehumanizing public school system, I feel like I had lost who I was and I had lost my sense of self. And this program helped me regain that. And not only for myself, it helped me bring that to students. So I brought social justice mathematics to my fifth graders and was able to bring it into my practice, which was healing for me as well as for them. So in that process, I was given that strength, I was given that wisdom through all of my professors, but I would really like to thank Dr. Paul Michaelak. Thank you, Paul, for going on a journey with me and redefining what success meant, academic success. Thank you to Bruce Ermacher. Thank you so much for giving me creativity that I didn't always like. And I didn't always know what to do with because I was very much brought up in procedural. So thank you, Bruce, for bearing with me. And to Brett. Oh, Brett. I could not have done this without Brett. I know we've said it, but Brett is amazing. Thank you for all of your support and thank you for just being there for me. And lastly, I would like to thank my mom. Mami, te amo mucho, mucho, mami. Thank you so much for being my best friend and for being my therapist. You and I are one. Te amo mucho, mami. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Giles. And next, I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Amy M. Vo. Dr. Vo's dissertation is titled A Phenomenological Study of Science Teachers' Lived Experience, Pedagogical Judgment During the COVID-19 Pandemic.
I made it up the stairs without tripping. That was my first accomplishment. And I didn't prepare a speech. I was busy planning a party, sorry. But I would like to thank some very important people in my life. So thank you, Dr. Brett Garner. Without you, this would have never happened. And Dr. Mikulek, thank you for all your inspiration. And then I also have Dr. Mary K. Delaney, but I'm not sure she's here today. And then finally, I'd love to thank my husband and my parents for just their support through this very, very long process. And that's it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Vo. And now I'm pleased to bring to the stage Dr. Kimberly Schmidt.
Good morning, you all. I'm Dr. Kimberly Schmidt, and it is my great pleasure to invite Dr. Terry Hutchinson to the stage. Woo! Dr. Terry Hutchinson's amazing dissertation and practice is titled The Not So Silent Period, Testimonials of Recently Arrived Latinx Middle School Students.
Well, for those of you who know me, I will take any opportunity to stand in front of people and talk about my students and my work. So today, yeah, it's true. I'm not going to hide it. Oh, and there's this, and I'm just, it's not going to be that bad. All right. So as much as I would love to graciously thank all of the people, my family, my mother Helen, my other mother, Mama Donna, and Terry, my best friend. My committee, y'all know who you are, raise up. And the University of Denver for their unwavering belief in me. Today, I'd rather stand here in my power and speak with you about my students and their beautifully tragic and exponentially hopeful lived experiences in our public schools. Their testimonials, individually and collectively, have given powerful evidence in the prosecution of narratives that portray them as deficient, in need of fixing, helpless, hopeless victims, and languageless, rebellious juveniles. I will tell you that this work, the Not So Silent Period, is but a small slice of the experiences that I have known through the 27 years I've worked with them and their families. I am so very proud of this cohort of participants that worked with me. Their courage and their vulnerability astounded me, and hopefully everyone who reads the work. So I'm going to read for you the opening to my final chapter. It's called Salir Afuera. In Spanish, the verb salir literally means to leave a place. For example, when we Spanish speakers say salir de compras, it means that we're going to leave one place and go shopping in another. If we say salir de vacaciones, it means we're going to leave one place and go vacation and have fun in another. If we say salir adelante, it means that we're going to leave one place and overcome and succeed in another. If we say salir afuera, it means to leave one place and simply go outside. The interpretation of this word salir is very important because it implies a choice of where one goes and what they do when they get there. There is a freedom in saliendo afuera, going out and about, that perhaps has been taken for granted, but not by the participants in this study. Coming up over and over and over again, when the participants revealed the joys of their lives, was this phrase, conjugated in some way, salir afuera. The participants reminisced on their favorite moments with their friends and family as those when they were saliendo afuera. There was a freedom that had been lost, however, as they experienced schooling in the United States as apresurado, raro, impidiendo, frustrando, y callado. In school, the participants' freedoms to just be youthful characters was constrained, but at the same time, the participants expressed hopeful and agitative ways that they were experiencing school and themselves in school. If there's one thing that I wish for my participants and all recently arrived students, it is the ability to be free. Free to salir afuera and just be. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Hutchinson. And now I would like to welcome Dr. Paul Michalak.
Greetings all and welcome to this very momentous moment for you all as support folks, for the graduates, and also for my esteemed colleagues. I'd like to welcome Dr. Derek Brannon to the stage. Dr. Brannon's dissertation in practice is titled Do It Yourself, Informal Transformative Sustainability Education. Dr. Brannon.
Hello. I would like to apologize for my lower attire. I will be doing it together with my students for 8 hours today, and we will be diverting a whole bunch of waste as people move out of the dorm. So I thought I'm wearing shorts and tennis shoes. I'm sorry. I would first like to start by thanking my parents and partner who all are filming. I don't know why all three of them need to film at the same time, but here we are. My parents are both engineers, and so I would like to thank them for suffering through me being an art major, a music major, a philosophy major, and then an educator. And then my partner, Kelsey, she has been with me through this entire process. You're no one else's problem, but you sure are mine. Also, it is our anniversary today, so. And then I would like to thank my dissertation committee, Dr. Paul Michaelek, Dr. Kimberly Schmidt, and Dr. Sarah Bexel, who is the faculty director of the Center for Sustainability where I work. They have all been champions of my work. I don't actually know how much time I have, so I'm gonna keep this brief, but I think we face great challenges as humans and part of an ecological world that is interconnected. This was most evident to me when me and my partner traveled to the Pacific Northwest during a historic heat wave. My friend that moved there, she grew up in Texas, and she said, you know, when I heard on the news that this was going to be bad, I was like, why? It's just heat. But it is a problem in an infrastructure that does not have air conditioning, an infrastructure that is not prepared for these types of events. Our hotels turned us away because their rooms didn't have air conditioning units. We were not able to buy box fans in the city where Amazon is headquartered. We could not go to restaurants because they had to close. We went to a brewery and they had to call an ambulance because a woman fainted. This is the same week that Jeff Bezos flew to space. We had to stay with my friend Dev and Peter, the aforementioned Texans. And during the night, we froze wet towels to put on our bodies to keep us cold. It became clear in that moment that all we have is each other, and we need to be building communities of care. Forget the 2 degrees Celsius, we're blowing past that. We're not preventing that. We have to adapt. And the best way we can do that is to care for one another and make it through together. So do it together.
Thank you, Dr. Brandon. At this point, I'd like to invite my colleague, Dr. Garrett Roberts, to the stage.
Hello, welcome. My name is Dr. Garrett Roberts. I'm quite honored to introduce to the stage Dr. Dina Malala. Dr. Malala's dissertation was titled Addressing Racial Disparities Through K-12 School-Based Culturally Relevant Interventions.
It feels unreal to be standing here today. 2% of Americans hold doctorates, but how many look like me and have had the lived experience that I have had? I chose to study a topic that is near and dear to my heart as a special education teacher who then went on to hold a special education leadership position within an urban school district. Black students are 3 times more likely to be placed in exclusionary special education settings compared to their peers. The findings of my dissertation suggested that with culturally relevant interventions, Black students can be included in the general education setting. I would now like to thank my husband, Laurent Khazadi. He supported me throughout my program. It wasn't easy being 8 months pregnant and defending my dissertation, and he was right there for me along the way. I want to thank my dad, who was also a Dr. Malala. He believed in me from the beginning and supported me throughout the entire program. And I want to thank my mom, who was always just one phone call away, there to wipe my tears, just doing what a mom does. My daughter, Majesty, who was my #1 inspiration, and there she is. I would also like to thank my advisor and dissertation director, Dr. Garrett Roberts. Thank you so much for supporting me throughout the entire program. I would also like to thank my committee members, Dr. Salazar. Thank you, Dr. Salazar, for really pushing me to think with a critical perspective, and also Dr. Owen, who was my methodologist. And I also want to congratulate all of the graduates here today because it wasn't easy, but we all did it. Thank you.
Well done. All right, now it's my honor to introduce to the stage Dr. Brooke Cote. Dr. Cote's dissertation was titled Improving Vocabulary Outcomes Through Language Resources, a Single Case Design of First Grade Emergent Bilinguals Engaged in Literacy Intervention. Microphone's on.
Hello, everyone. I had the pleasure of sitting in on my good friend Leah's dissertation proposal just the other day, and it reminded me of how much I appreciated the doctoral process. So I want to thank the faculty of the Department of Teaching and Learning Sciences for supporting me throughout this process. Dr. Michaelek, Dr. Salazar, Dr. Ermacher, and my dissertation committee comprised of Dr. Roberts, Dr. Banerjee, and Dr. Schmidt. I especially want to thank Dr. Roberts for not only all of his guidance over the past 4+ years, but also for the opportunities to participate in his research projects. As he said to me at the beginning of my doctoral journey, it's really about the experiences. So thank you for all of the opportunities. I also want to thank my family who's here with me today, my parents, Ann and Jim, my husband, Scott, and my 3 kids, Colin, Aiden, and Brenna. Each and every one of you supported me, encouraged me, and put up with some pretty challenging moments throughout this process. So thank you. And finally, to Dina and Amy and Amal, it's an honor to be here with you today. Thank you.
Okay. Creativity, right, Norma? Now we honor students in our school psychology program in the Department of Teaching and Learning Sciences. The American Psychological Association accredited and National Association of School Psychologists approved program prepares graduates to have careers in school psychology across a broad range of education, mental health, and research settings. Students complete coursework, dissertation, and supervise 2,000 hours of APA, APEC approved full-time internship. Our PhD students embrace ecological and social justice orientations. This means we provide training that advocates for the well-being of all children and youth in all settings that impact their daily lives. Now I invite Dr. Gloria Miller, Professor Emerita and Endowed Chair in Literacy, to honor our first doctoral student in the school psychology program.
Hello, I'm going to introduce my colleague and collaborator, Dr. Phil Crane, and we both had the honor of collaborating on this dissertation. And I'm going to introduce Dr. Eleanor Bold, and Dr. Strain's going to put her. And we often say in our profession that you need to collaborate to graduate. So thank you. I forgot her dissertation was titled Defining Business as Usual in Preschool Interventions for Challenging Behavior.
All right. Despite virtually speaking for a living in this type of setting, it's very intimidating, so bear with me. I came across a quote right at the start of internship last fall that hit so close to home, it became a mantra that's lived rent-free in my head ever since, which is, now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. Doctoral programs are, to say the least, difficult. We're evaluated constantly, and it's impossible not to second guess yourself along the way, forcing you to double down on whether or not it's worth it. What I understand now is that it's that way by design, because it's a privilege to get to work with children and families in the manner that we do. And so it's our teachers' jobs to ensure that we're able to do so and navigate this complex field in an effective, ethical, and empathetic manner. That often feels like striving for perfection. But it also is a privilege to get to love your job every single day. So it is worth it. Thank you to my cohort, without whom this past 5 years would have felt impossible and very lonely. You are absolutely intelligent, creative, and compassionate psychologists, and the future of our field is bright because you're in it. Dr. Miller, thank you for saying yes and taking me on and sharing your passion with me, making all of this possible. You define what it means to be a champion for your students. Dr. Strain, or St. Philip, as my twin and I call you from my program, thank you for always having my back, including when it meant supporting me on endeavors that veered in new directions. It's been an honor to know and work with both of you. Mom, thank you for taking every single phone call, whether panicked or sad or elated. You've always been my guiding source of light and a silver lining on even the worst of days. To my dad, thank you for your passion, sharing your passion for learning and dedicating oneself to helping others with everything you have. To Ben and Emily, my dear siblings, thank you for being my eternal cheerleaders, including here today. You've extended time and patience to understand my world and given me an outlet for fun and travel that kept me going. You're my rocks, and the middle child that I am, I wouldn't be who I am without you. I'm so proud to be your sister. To Alex and Lisa, thank you for taking me in and giving me a home away from home. Your endless capacity for caring never ceases to amaze me and has provided solace when I needed it most. And finally, to my fiance, Cam, my buddy from day one, from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, screaming on the floor during comps, you held my hand and kept me level-headed and calm even when I couldn't do that for myself. You've certainly earned this degree by proxy, and I could not have done it without you. Thank you for supporting my dream every step of the way. And we finally did it, and I can't wait to come home. Congratulations to all the graduates here today, their families, and faculty. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Cynthia Hazel, and I am a professor in the school psychology program. It is my privilege and honor to invite Dr. Audrey Ford to the stage. Dr. Ford's title of her dissertation is The Gender and Race Intersectional Disproportionality Tool, quite a mouthful, so also called the GRID-T, an exploration of practitioners' access to and use of high-quality data for special education placement.
Hello. My grandfather used to say, "Go for one" to my dad when he was running. And this journey has been a run. It's been a marathon. And so I would like to thank everyone who has helped me go for one in this season, including my cohort, my committee, Dr. Cynthia Hazel, my advisor, and my friends. I would not be here without the support of many. I would also like to say, yes, my dissertation is a mouthful and it has been a journey of ideas, but also practicality and looking at how data can be used to dismantle systems and how data can be used in a way that acknowledges voices that make it not neutral, but doing something. So let's acknowledge where that comes from. I am so incredibly grateful for the people who have supported me on my journey. And as my tool's little acronym, as all our fields love acronyms says, we have earned the title of being gritty. So good job, everyone. Thank you. And yeah, let's keep celebrating.
And now it is my honor and privilege to invite Dr. Brianna Fatigate to the stage. Dr. Fatigate's title of her dissertation is Building Teachers' Capacity to Implement Equitable Family, School, and Community Partnerships through School Psychologist Consultation, the Partnership Capacity Building Consultation Model and Case Study.
Okay, this is going to be harder than I thought, but thank you all. I decided to go back to school and pursue my PhD after losing a friend to gun violence in 2018. The legacy of Tommy is best captured by the saying, "He never met a stranger," and this has stayed with me throughout my life. To Tommy, every person in the world was just a friend he never met yet, deserving of kindness and understanding. Because of him, I'm devoted to finding ways to not live around among strangers in my own life, work, and community, but rather focusing on community connection, relational health, and shared resources. Through this experience, I began to appreciate how my privileges, especially my strong connection to my family and community, played a crucial role in my ability to heal. This recognition, coupled with Tommy's legacy of kindness and understanding for humanity, galvanized my research study. I strive to learn more about violence prevention, but especially the impact of family, school, and community partnerships at the intersect of trauma and privilege. It's been a privilege doing my dissertation and getting to work with teachers firsthand on implementing equitable partnerships in their school and figuring it out together as a school psychologist. I would like to wholeheartedly thank my advisor, Dr. Cynthia Hazel, who has provided me with consistent devotion to my study, growth as a researcher, and a professional. Dr. Hazel inspired me to think about the many ways school psychologists can use consultation and our knowledge to impact students, families, and the community at large. I also want to express my gratitude to Dr. Gloria Miller for her assistance throughout the process and sharing her expertise in equitable family, school, and community partnerships, her strong equity-focused lens, which allowed me to extend my thinking. And I want to thank my committee member, Dr. Lillian Chumuma, for her continuous kindness, patience, and help with my methodology. I also want to thank my entire family, but especially my mother, who taught me the value of family and community partnerships to a very young age, who taught me how important those relationships are and always will be. I love you, and you have always been my sunshine. And lastly, I want to show appreciation and love for my fiance, Donald, who has helped me with every step of the way throughout the process of my doctoral journey, who literally sat next to me at the table, who was also a student. So day by day, working hard and pushing me and motivating me to keep going. Thank you so much, and congratulations to everyone here today.
And now I invite my colleague, Dr. Pat Garrett, to the stage. Or the podium. He's actually already on the stage.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pat Garriott, and I have the privilege of serving as chair of the Department of Counseling Psychology. Our department includes 3 programs: a PhD in Counseling Psychology, a Master of Arts in Counseling Psychology, and a Master's of Arts in School Counseling. Our programs train around 270 students a year and contribute close to 2.5 million in volunteer mental health services to communities in the state of Colorado and beyond. Our training models center research, practice, and advocacy in pursuit of increasing access to mental health care and ensuring equitable, affirming school environments. Although our department does not have students who we will be hooding today, I'm thrilled to bear witness to the culmination of so many students' educational journeys during today's ceremony. So congratulations to everyone. Cheers.
Good morning, everyone. Congratulations to the graduates, and thanks to the families and faculty for supporting them through their journey. My name is Christina Matuziak, and I'm department chair in the Research Methods and Information Science department. And our department houses 2 distinct programs: Research Methods and Statistics, RMS, and Library and Information Science, LIS. Research Methods and Statistics has a master and a PhD program, and that program aims to prepare researchers, methodologists, and program evaluators for academic and professional careers. Graduates from the RMS program launch successful careers as faculty members at universities, but also work as researchers at many research institutes in the Colorado region and nationwide. The Library and Information Science program prepares librarians, archivists, and research data managers and other information professionals in both face-to-face and online modalities. We have a large online program with a diverse student population from almost every state in the country, and actually we celebrated this online program graduates last night. The emphasis of the LIS program is on preparing our graduates for working in libraries, as those institutions play an important role in our societies. But our graduates also work in other information environments as information architects and user experience specialists. In the LIS program, we also have a research data management concentration, and that's a sort of a new emerging area that bridges research methods and information science, and the graduates from that concentrations work in the emerging field of research data management and preservation. The department has quite a diverse faculty who have expertise in advanced qualitative, quantitative, and mixed methods, research methodologies, but also in data curation, data visualization, and cutting-edge digital technologies. Also faculty who conduct community-based research and focus on working with communities and supporting the needs of marginalized populations. And it's my great privilege now to invite Dr. Joel Stewart to the podium.
Hey, good morning. Thank you, Dr. Matuziak. Again, good morning. My name is Dr. D.L. Stewart, and I'm professor and chair of the Higher Education Department here at Morgridge College of Education. The Higher Education Department offers a Master of Arts, a Doctor of Education, and a Doctor of Philosophy with emphases in college student administration, public policy and organizational change, and diversity in higher learning. The field of higher education studies is multidimensional, with a specific focus on how those dimensions are shaped by and operate within the post-secondary education landscape. Among those focal points are philosophy and foundations of higher education, organization and governance, diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice, faculty, administrators, and staff within colleges and universities, undergraduate and graduate student learning and development, teaching, learning, and assessment, as well as law and policy, to name just a few. Scholars of higher education studies examine these topics through a diverse array of research methods, including the broad spectrum of quantitative and qualitative analyses, as well as performance, visual, and digital methods. Here at Morgridge, the higher education department has 6 core faculty with expertise across several of these areas, educating approximately 100 students across its degree programs who lead and contribute to transformational change within post-secondary education institutions and policy organizations in the US and internationally. I am delighted to congratulate all of our graduates here today, and particularly to present the 11 graduates from the Doctor of Education and Doctor of Philosophy degrees in higher education. And now it's my pleasure to bring Dr. Cecilia Orphan to the stage.
So it is my honor to welcome Dr. Liliana Diaz to the stage. Her dissertation is titled Juntos Luchamos, a post-critical ethnographic and photo voice study on Latinx student civic engagement practices at a Hispanic serving institution.
Latino bodies as political statements. What does this mean, apart from being a finding for my dissertation, on how Latinx students define civic engagement participation? It means that regardless and in spite of the discrimination and exclusion Latinos have faced and continue to face in this country, I am still here. It means that regardless of where I go and what I do, my mere presence in spaces such as these is an act of defiance. Now to the thank yous. Nikita, mi amor, spasiba, for making sure our girls were taken care of and for providing them with love and attention when I had to sacrifice this to get this dang thing done. Thank you for your encouraging words and for listening to me yap nonstop about my work and overall geekiness on the topic and for making sure I didn't lose sight of my goals. To my advisor, mentor, and friend, Dr. Cecilia Orphan, who pushed me to be inquisitive, critical, and whose feedback helped me become the best version of myself. A mis amistades who sacrificed seeing me regularly as I worked on accomplishing this goal and were nothing but supportive and understanding. A mis colegas, Sophia Latterman, Julie Winsky, and Sarah Jordan, who commiserated with me as we went through this journey together as we helped push each other to the finish line. To Dr. William Cross, who was the one to see me and my potential and encouraged me to follow this path, one that I did not think was even a reality. To Dr. Frank Tuitt, who opened my eyes when I was blind. To Laura Sponsor for her expertise and positive energy. To Dr. Judy Kiama, whose mentorship and friendship and presence as a Latina scholar showed me how our experiences in comunidad can be a source of strength. To my research participants, who taught me so much about the strength of our comunidad and the beauty of our perseverance. To my daughters, Sofia and Lucia, for their bright smiles and unconditional love. Y finalmente a mi padre, quien donde quiera que esté, estaría orgulloso de mí. Gracias.
It is with excitement that I now welcome Dr. Sophia Latterman to the stage. Dr. Latterman's dissertation was titled, Does Publicness Matter? A Mixed Methods Analysis Identifying and Measuring Institutional Contributions to State Goals for Public Higher Education.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My dissertation looked at why states fund public colleges and universities and what they provide to states. I found that public institutions are incredibly important for ensuring equitable access to higher education, student affordability, equitable opportunities for success, and overall state attainment. I also found that these institutions are incredible drivers of economic and workforce development and community improvement. In addition, I found that state funding for these institutions is incredibly important. And when there's lower state funding, we see less of those benefits. I have so many people to thank, which is a little overwhelming, and I probably too many names to actually name, but I want to start with my husband, Chris. Without him, this would have completely not been possible. Thank you for being my biggest supporter, for reading and reviewing and editing all of my drafts, for taking care of our family when I was working nights and weekends. This wouldn't have been possible without you. Next, I want to thank Dr. Cecilia Orphan for being my advisor, mentor, dissertation chair, friend, champion. You improved my work so much and my understanding of higher education and higher education policy. My experience would have been absolutely nowhere near as incredible if not for you. I want to thank the rest of my committee, which is fairly large, so bear with me. Dr. David Tamberg, Dr. Elisa Hicklin-Fryer, Dr. Laura Sponsler, and Dr. Dwan Zhang. I also have what I would consider an honorary committee member, Dr. Mike Nguyen, who was incredibly helpful in developing my initial ideas, reviewing my proposal, and remains a good friend and collaborator. I also want to give a couple shout outs to some friends and family. First is Dr. Liliana Diaz, who, as she did today, has been one step ahead of me and everything in this journey. She's become a close friend and has provided so much guidance and support. I also want to mention my mother-in-law, Debbie Schutte, and my grandmother-in-law, Jerry Gibbs, for helping with my data collection when I had no motivation and was very stuck. Finally, I want to thank my grandparents who couldn't be here today, but really inspired me to pursue a PhD. So thank you, Dennis, Pat, Amy, and Ezra. It has been an incredible experience, and I've learned so much in my time at DU. Thank you all.
Next, it's my honor to introduce Dr. Stephen Jenks and welcome him to the stage. Dr. Jenks' dissertation was titled "The Rural Post-Graduation Plan Development Model, Advancing Student College Choice by Centering Rural Communities."
So briefly in my dissertation, I examined how rural students in K-12 situations discover what it is that they want to do once they leave high school, whether that be going off to college or joining the military, starting a job, starting a family, all things that are very important for sustaining the economies and cultures of rural communities. For me, 20 years ago, I auditioned for what would be my first of many theatrical productions. It might have been today. It's hard to say. Social media was still a baby, so I can't check. I love the process of taking words and stories and translating them to entertain, inform, and to educate audiences. I quickly learned I was a big fish in a small pond when I left my home in Citrus County, Florida, and went to college and met all of the other future stars. It was then that I learned about education inequities in higher education, access and success, and decided to take my talents to academia, where I take words and stories and translate them to entertain, inform, and educate audiences. So this is about as close as I'm ever going to get to a Tony acceptance speech. As Dr. Bold said earlier, the road to a PhD is very long and tough and challenging. And there were many times where I felt like an imposter and that things were going to be too difficult to continue through. But I saw a meme once, which is the language of my generation, that said that imposter syndrome should not be thought of as a person who has a flaw, an innate lack of information, but rather to think about it as a skilled actor who has fooled everyone into thinking that you are the best there. And while that's a little bit of a hyperbole, I did find through this PhD journey that really being a doctor is about having the humility to say when you don't know the answer, but having the resources and the education to know where to find it. I can hear the tiny orchestra in my brain playing to play me off here. So I do want to thank the faculty and staff of MCE, My parents, who always believed in my curiosity and supported me no matter what my dreams were, through all of my majors, all of my different career choices. My partner Mandel, who not only supported me emotionally, but also did all of the food shopping and cleaning the house a lot of the time, walking the dogs, all the things I didn't really have time for. My friends near and far who supported me, especially my colleagues and my cohort, as we call it, the people who came in with me 5 years ago. Let's see, my brothers of the Alpha Beta Omega alumni chapter of Iota Phi Theta here in Denver, the various jobs and funding sources that I had throughout the years. I'm a man of many professions. My participants, of course, I couldn't have written a dissertation without them and their stories and being vulnerable and sharing that. And my committee, especially Dr. Chris Nelson. I also have committee members, Dr. Julianne Laser from the School of Social Work and Dr. Andrew Korsich from Appalachian State. But most of all, Dr. Cecilia Orphan. You know, the support and the feedback that you gave to me was received, I received the support and the feedback that you gave me very well throughout this journey. Pass the voice, learn it well. And yeah, so I am off to continue living the dream. No more PIOs, and thank you.
So unfortunately, Dr. Catherine Robert couldn't be here today, but I want to honor her work and her dissertation by reading its title. The Vigor of Creative Materialism, Making the Hidden Stories of Underrepresented Engineering Students Visible. We can clap for her, I think. And now I'd like to welcome my colleague, Dr. D.L. Stewart, to the podium.
Good morning again. Yes, I am still Dr. Stewart. It is my pleasure and my honor this morning to invite Dr. Evan Weatherby with me on the stage. Dr. Weatherby's dissertation in practice was titled Below the Surface, a critical discourse analysis of secondary selective admissions at an open access Hispanic serving institution.
It's such an honor to be here with all of you today. Can we just take a breath together, please? Thank you. I needed that. One of the things that I've grown very accustomed to in these last years is really not having any idea what I'm doing, but doing my best anyways. So you're seeing that right now. I am first in family, I am first gen. And there's so much that I've gained here at DU with all of you, with the faculty, my advisor. I had a voice when I got here, when I arrived. And I have to thank my classmates, my cohort members for helping me refine that and helping me find my platform. I want the same for my students, the students that I teach and that I work with. I want them to feel seen and to feel heard and loved, and I want them to feel power for the moments when they don't feel that way. My commitment to education, to social justice and equity in education has been affirmed. I feel more attuned to recognize threats to democracy, to justice and equity in our society. And I feel confident that together with the people in this room, that we can eviscerate those threats. Dr. Stewart, Dr. Stewart, Dr. Stewart, Dr. Nguyen, Dr. Nelson, Dr. Orphan, Dr. Hurtado, Dr. Garcia, Dr. Kiyama, Dr. Guinero, thank you all so much.
Next, it is my equal honor and pleasure to invite Dr. Jess Guarnero to the stage with me. Dr. Guarnero's title of her dissertation in practice is Colorado Mountain College's Common Course Scheduling and the Mother Scholar Experience, a program evaluation.
Okay. In my dissertation, in part of it, I used art to represent data. Imagine, if you will, a single line drawing that represents a person, but that line continues and draws all of the things that make a person who they are. My line in my picture shoots straight over there. You made me who I am, all of you. Special thanks to my husband, my cheerleader, my supporter. You're simply the best. To my son, Julian, I would not be a mother scholar without you. And can we please clap for him? He graduated the 5th grade. I have a middle schooler. I am so proud of you. And to my parents, this is their 4th college graduation they have attended. They've never missed one. Thank you for your support. I love you both. And to my 2 very best friends, Dara and Caitlin, who may as well be my sisters, thank you for being here. I love you. Okay, more. Thank you to Dr. Stewart, my beautiful advisor. I appreciate you. And to Dr. Tyson, a fellow mother scholar. It has been a very wild ride, I will say. It's not always perfect. There may have been tears and frustration this morning, right? I don't know, maybe that happened. But I am proud because of this program. I am in the leadership role at Colorado Mountain College, and I get to have my voice at the table for those who are not always seen. And I get to do that every day for work, and I love that. Thank you, everyone. And to my cohort mates, Dr. Jackman and Dr. Weatherby, you're the best. Thank you.
Would like to invite Dr. Chris Nelson to the podium.
Yate Bene Guazzi. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Chris Nelson. I am Associate Professor in the Higher Education Department. I am honored to welcome Dr. Linda Duran. Dr. Duran's dissertation is titled Embracing Green Chili, an Exploratory Factor Analysis of Community Cultural Wealth.
Good morning, y'all. What y'all know about green chili? Panza llena, corazón contento. Full stomach, happy heart, my mother taught me. I can't write when I'm hungry. Green chili is a phenomenal artifact of my family's otherwise erased indigeneity due to settler colonialism. It's almost always my favorite thing to eat, also when I'm writing. And so I have to thank the green chili in my life to my roots, my mother. She's brilliant, and she can cook, and I love you. To my 5-year-old sunshine, Diego, who's comfortably playing Nintendo right now. Yep. Who just graduated preschool. Yeah. And to my nourishing soil, Chris Duran. Thank you all for keeping me fed and cared for throughout this process and for vacuuming. I love you. Also to my green chili, my incredible dissertation advisor, Chris Nelson. Where'd you go? Hi. I have learned to accept Dr. Nelson's critical feedback in my writing as a unit of love. So thank you for all the time that you spent helping me develop. To Dr. Nelson and Dr. Hurtado for encouraging me to write through green chili as a metaphor. And so I developed a 4-factor model to validate the community cultural wealth model. And to best explain it to my family and community, I established the epistemology of green chili. Thank you for encouraging me to connect with my family in that way. I have a phenomenal powerhouse of critical dissertation committee members, including Dr. Nelson, Dr. Hurtado, Dr. Lolita Tabrin, and Tom Romero. A reading from the final page of my dissertation, rated PG-13. Stealing my words while you spit on my name. You can't back that shit up. Yeah, keep talking the same. You speak monolinguistic, objective statistics while you chase empty rankings, desperate for fame. You ask for our faces on the college website, then tuck us back in where the bedbugs bite. Erasing my ancestors' wisdom and stories, I run back to class where professor is snoring, sleeping in last year's PowerPoint slides, diluted curriculum written in white. Still we rise like green chili, stretched to the sky, reaching our dreams with roots that defy. I'll be in the fields, in the green chili rows, where our ancestors teach us to learn is to grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Duran. Next, I'd like to welcome Dr. Sarah Barbier-Bolarzik. Dr. Barbier-Bolarczyk's dissertation is titled Study Abroad and the Global Public Good, a developmental evaluation of the international business major.
Take a note from Linda and hold it. Thank you all so much. Congratulations, doctors. This has been so amazing to sit here and listen to the work that you've done. And we all know how hard we worked. We all know how many years we have been students. It's incredible. I was thinking back of all of the years that I have been a student at one college or university or another. It's almost too many to count. Thinking about my journey, I've studied journalism, international relations, languages, education, and thinking about all of those topics, it really all comes down to how much I love learning as many little things as I can about as many different things as I can. I love being able to learn something about where everybody is from, a word in whatever language they speak, just different ways to connect with people. What I didn't realize about getting a doctorate is that you actually spend virtually all of your time learning as much as you can about one particular singular thing. And so I want to thank everybody who let me obsess and dig deep on that one specific thing of study abroad. Particularly my friends and family. My parents, Jim and Linda, are here today, and my husband, John. Thank you for always believing in me and pushing me to keep going. Thank you for listening to me talk about this one topic that I truly believe needs more interest and respect in the field of higher education. And that was my goal for this dissertation, was to elevate study abroad to a true topic of research and critical theory and critical analysis. So thank you to everyone who let me do that. None of this would have been possible without the faculty of the Department of Higher Education. All of these dissertations are a piece of work by the student and their advisor and their committee, and I just want to acknowledge that. Dr. Nelson pushed me hard, which is what is needed. I truly feel like what I did in the end could not have been possible without her critical feedback and pushing me to keep going. I also want to thank Dr. Tyson for her amazing feedback on my committee as well. I think that's all I wanted to say. I'm just so proud of all of you. So congratulations again, doctors. I want to thank the Morgridge College of Education. I think, to sum up the entire experience, this has made me a better person, and I think that's the whole point.
Thank you, Dr. Barbier-Balarczyk. Next, I'd like to welcome Dr. Allison Gunn. Dr. Gunn's dissertation is "We All Fly Together, We All Fall Together," a fourth generation evaluation of the experiences of students of color in a strength-based post-secondary access program.
Good morning. It's really hard to explain the journey that we take as we earn our doctorate, and it has felt like at times it was a journey that would never end, but here we all are. I'm not big on highlighting my accomplishments. I'm not big on that kind of recognition, but I think today is an exception to that. When I was much younger and single, I earned my master's in education. At the time, it was the hardest thing I had ever done. But to earn my doctorate, to write my dissertation as a mom of 2 young girls while working full-time and attempting to be a partner in my marriage, arguably not always successfully, was something else entirely. To do that, to be here, I'm pretty proud of that accomplishment. I had the privileged opportunity to journey alongside some of the most brilliant people I know in my cohort-ish. Cohort, is that what you said? Learning from them, listening to them, and engaging with them were invaluable experiences. To each of them, I am profoundly grateful. I'm particularly appreciative of the folks I spent weekend after weekend writing with, Diana and Andrea. It wouldn't have happened for me without you. And to Mary E. for pushing me forward, and Shanae for cheering me across the finish line. I am forever grateful. I was honored to have had 3 fairly iconic women sit on my dissertation committee. Dr. Tyson, thank you for all of your support in my time at DU, for letting me support you as your TA, and for being a part of my committee. To my colleague in San Antonio, Dr. Kara Allen, I am eternally appreciative of the space you made for me and the love you offered. And to my advisor, Dr. Nelson, to say you changed my life doesn't really express the profound impact you have had on me. I will carry with me so many moments of learning and connection, and I am honored to have shared space and community with you over my time at DU. Finally, to my family, to my daughters, Stella and Nevaeh, you are my world. Thank you for waving, Stella. I am so thankful for the time that you gave me, the love you showed me, and the willingness to help me stick it through that you offered. To my partner, Dominic, thank you will never be enough to express my gratitude. This was not easy for us, and you took the brunt more than I did. I see you, and I love you. always. Thank you and congratulations, everybody.
I'm short too. Hello there. My name is Dr. Mike Wang Win, and it is my real distinct honor and pleasure to introduce Dr. Dong Mike Din. Dr. Din's dissertation in practice is entitled Culturally Responsive Evaluation Addressing the Invisibility of Asian Pacific Islander Desi Americans at the University of Denver. Dr. Din.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I'm Dong. Triple D now instead of double D, which is fantastic. First, I want to honor my family, the Din clan. I have my parents here up here. They're all taking videos. Not sure why. Thank you, Fang Din, Yao Wing. And then my auntie and uncle are also here. Thuing Din, Tui Tran. Then my siblings, Long Din, Fang Din, and Ashley. And then my friend, Christine, who came from Las Vegas. Thank you for being here today. It has been an incredible journey. It's been long. It's been 6 years, and I'm glad to be here. I have also more thank yous to do. My colleagues, Linda, Anthea, and Tamara, for giving me that Friday to write. It's just been pretty busy with life. My friends from Minnesota, Leslie and Katie, thank you for giving me time to just escape this world for a little bit. My dissertation writing group, Sarah Thorsonson, Stephen Campbell, Tanette Lutke, for encouraging me to press on even though I wanted to quit very early on. And then for my professors, Dr. Nelson, Dr. Tuttle, Dr. Sponsor, Dr. Orphan, Dr. Kiyama Marquez, Dr. Stewart, Dr. Tyson, and Anna Millies for encouraging me and supporting me the last 6 years. Really appreciate y'all. And Mike, Dr. Wing here. He's been so incredible in this journey. He's the person who encouraged me to get my doctorate on focus with Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander communities. And without him and his support and writing with him, I wouldn't be here at all today. So thank you, Dr. Wing. And finally, Dr. Kristen Dio, if you're here, thank you so much for your support. As well as the first gen and Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander communities. You all are resilient. You are pushing boundaries. You are standing against invisibilization or making yourself, or yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. And yeah, wow. Here we are. Okay, bye.
Okay, and it's my distinct pleasure to introduce my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Sarah S. Hurtado.
Hi, everyone. It is my honor to introduce Dr. Barbara Jackman. Dr. Jackman's dissertation in practice is titled An Analysis of Early Childhood Teacher Voices Towards Policy Addressing the Teacher Shortage.
Hi, this is the first time I've met Dr. Hurtado because I was a pandemic student and did an awful lot online. And I want to say thank you to DU for having that or providing that experience through a pandemic and doing it in such an amazing way. When I started this process, I had a couple of really influential people in my life saying, why are you doing this? Okay, lots of head nods, right? Why are you doing this? You know, I was established in my career. It was really not necessary. There are a lot of reasons to do it. And I had to say my answer was really, I wasn't quite sure. But I knew it was the path I needed to follow to discover why I was doing it. And so when I think about graduating, I think about graduating in so many other ways than just the hood and the title of doctor, and all of the other things I'm graduating with along this journey. So, I want to say thank you. I love seeing those dear faces, Dr. Evan Weatherby, Dr. Jess Guinero. It was just a pleasure to be able to do this process with you all. I want to thank Colorado Mountain College for this enormous support that was given us in following this path. I wouldn't have done it without that. So I really, really appreciate that and being able to work for a place like that. And our faces are right there. That's really distracting, isn't it? I want to also thank the faculty at DU and my fellow students, because you all were as big a teachers as the faculty were. And the lessons that I learned that I'm graduating with were sometimes painful lessons and so valued. Sometimes they were pleasurable lessons, and each was so, so valued. So thank you for what you're helping me graduate with by following this path together. And then I want to thank my research subjects. A lot of people have talked about voice. I think that's something I'm graduating with, is a different voice than I had when I started, a much less passive voice. Boy, does like grammar check ever point that out, right? And I think, Dr. Hurtado, I told you when I started this, I wrote like Yoda speaks, and now I understand that's the passive voice to the extreme. My subjects are people, early childhood teachers who are voiceless, and incredibly marginalized. And I was inspired by my subjects' strength, passion, and clarity on how very important the work they do is, despite the fact that it's devalued in every way. Anyhow, Dr. Hurtado, thank you so much. I want to thank my committee, Dr. Tyson, Dr. Hurtado, Dr. Franks, who was my program advisor for my master's degree in Wisconsin, and how much I learned from each of you. I just want to not screech everybody by doing this, but be able to turn and say, thank you for immediately understanding, Dr. Hurtado, the significance of the research I was doing and its impact on higher education. I knew that, but my voice wasn't quite able to get that out on paper very well, and you helped me with that tremendously. I also want to say thank you for finding the sweet spot between allowing me to struggle and supporting me. You were masterful at it, and I thank you. And also both of you helping me really identify feminist epistemology and theory, and really flush out what that all means, and the strength of qualitative research. So I want to thank you both very much for your role modeling in my life. And then I think my 2 minutes has passed, so I totally want to shout out to those researchers that I built off of in feminist epistemology and standpoint theory, and how that is something I'm graduating with, is that construct mentally in everything I do in life. And my family. without whom, boy, we all have that thread, without whom I couldn't have done it. My amazing husband who sat and listened to ad nauseum my topic like other people's and really hid being bored with it if he was, and was so incredibly supportive. And my children who were equally as supportive and inspiring to me. So thank you, everybody.
Hello, I was today old when I found out that a group of doctors is referred to collectively as a crowd. I think it's fitting, hearing the thank yous and the congratulations going out now, that it takes a crowd to get to the point where they're at right now. It takes all of you as a crowd. It takes you all as a new crowd, and it takes us as a crowd. So my name is Jason Richardson. I'm the Department Chair of Educational Leadership and Policy Studies. Our department has 4 programs. We have a principal preparation program, a master's program, an educational doctorate program, and a doctorate of philosophy program. And today we're here to honor 4 of our successful completers of the doctoral programs. Today we're here honoring your tenacity, your courage, and your curiosity. So I'd like to welcome Dr. Christina Hesbel to hood our first graduate.
Good morning. My name is Christina Hespel, and I'm a professor in the Educational Leadership and Policy Studies Department. And it's my distinct honor to call to the stage Dr. Isaac Solano. The title of Dr. Solano's dissertation is School District Demographic Change Through the Lens of High School Students, a Phenomenological Case Study.
My journey at the University of Denver has been a very long journey, so I'll be very brief and concise. I want to thank Samantha, all of my friends, family, and every educator that has helped me get here, all the way from my time in pre-K up to my committee. Thank you.
I'd like to call to the podium Dr. Erin Anderson from the Educational Leadership and Policy Studies Department.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Erin Anderson from the Ed Leadership and Policy Studies Department, and it's my pleasure to call to the stage Dr. Francesca M. Craver. The title of Dr. Craver's dissertation is The Missing Links, a Case Study in Special Education.
Good morning, everybody. Congratulations to all you doctors. It's a long journey for all of us, but we're here and we made it. My case study was based upon hearing the voice of students with disabilities and growing up in the public education system, being a twice exceptional student, I did not receive what I needed to be successful. So my job as a school principal and a former educator is to make sure that all students receive what they need, but especially our students with disabilities. So I chose to work with a group of students, very amazing group of students, 6 students from a alternative high school that did not make it in a comprehensive high school, partly because of the casualty of educators. And so I wanted to hear their voice so that we could change the system for all students, but especially these students who are marginalized. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my family for the endless support they have given me for the past 4 years. First and foremost, I would like to thank my husband, who's not here today because he's also administrator, so he has duties at his school, who has given me his support and patience while I attended class and spent numerous hours writing. He always encouraged me to keep going when I wanted to quit, or he just gave me the nudge to keep on going. I would also like to acknowledge my 3 children, Isabella, Vincenzo, and Nicolina, for their encouragement and unwavering love throughout the doctoral journey. I have missed soccer games, swim meets, and other activities, but I appreciate their encouragement and unwavering love throughout it all. I hope that what I have taught you as your mom is the importance of grit, perseverance, and never giving up on your dreams. I would also like to thank my parents who have always encouraged me to set high goals and believing in myself. They have been the constant in my life, and I will always be thankful for their love and support. And due to them, I have a lot of college debt. I would also like to take the time to thank my professor and advisor, Dr. Erin Anderson, for giving me the support and guidance I needed to earn my degree. Your constant advice, feedback, and encouragement pushed me to think differently and continue to advocate for all students. I would also like to thank Dr. Jason Richardson for his endless support with editing, revising, and serving on my committee. Thank you to Dr. Hesbel for truly understanding what it is to be a leader of a building and to also be learning and growing in this doctoral program. A special thank you to Dr. Lolita Tabron for not only serving on my committee, but for teaching me the importance of viewing things through a critical race lens and pushing my thinking more than anybody has ever before. Lastly, thank you to my friend, doctoral candidate and fellow principal, Dr. Annie Larkin, who's up next pretty soon. Your support, encouragement, and friendship helped me to get through this program and to complete the dissertation and practice. And I'm going to end with a quote from one of the voices of our students in my study. It is not that we don't want to learn, it's we don't know how to learn. Thank you.
And now I'm going to call to the podium Dr. Susan Korach.
Good morning, Susan Korach. I'm with the Ed Leadership and Policy Studies program, and I am thrilled to bring Dr. Dagan Andrews to the stage. Dr. Andrews' dissertation in practice is titled Working Toward Coherence, a Study of a Blended Learning Initiative.
I got to be honest, I just have a lot of gratitude to share with all of you this morning and the people who have joined me on this journey. First and foremost, Dr. Korach, I'd like to share my deepest appreciation for your mentorship, thought partnership, and friendship throughout this process. You were always there to help me clarify and focus my thinking and keeping me on track. So thank you so much. There she is. I also want to share my sincere gratitude for the ELPS faculty. You pushed me to reflect on my practice, and I've become a better practitioner because of all of you. I'd also like to thank my father, Dr. Richard L. Andrews. Thank you for paving the way and for always leading with questions and not answers. I would also like to thank my in-laws, the Doties. Thank you for accepting me into the family and for investing in me. I'd also like to thank my children, to my bright and talented children, Trajan, Ty, and Tegan. I want you to know finishing hard things matters and will help you to take on even greater challenges with life. I would also love to share my appreciation to my incredible wife, Lana, of 25 years. Thank you for always pushing me to be the best form of myself and maybe providing gentle nudges or forceful nudges for me to take on this challenge. I am emotional this morning. Halfway through this process, I lost someone very dear to me, my mother. And to my brilliant, strong mother, who's an absolute force of nature, I miss you so much every day. And I dedicate this accomplishment to you. Thank you.
And I'd like to welcome back Dr. Christina Hesbold.
Thank you. It is a wonderful opportunity to introduce you to Dr. Ann Larkin. Annie's dissertation in practice is titled Reparative Teaching, Access versus Ability, and Action Research Study.
Words cannot express my gratitude for my advisor and dissertation chair, Dr. Christina Hesbold. Thank you so much for all that you have taught me and for mentoring me throughout my doctoral program and in my career. To my committee, Dr. Lolita Tabron and Dr. Erin Anderson, I am deeply indebted to you both for your continued support of my research. I so appreciate your willingness to share your expertise and to push my thinking. Additionally, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Jason Richardson for consulting with me on my publications and for your continued writing and editing support throughout my dissertation process. Thank you. To my cohort, I am so grateful for the friendships we created throughout our program. Our thoughtful discussions, constant support of each other, and laughter truly enriched my life. I am extremely grateful to Dr. Frankie Craver for always answering my call to discuss balancing the program demands with the unique challenges we face as principals. A huge thank you to my dream team in my Denver Public Schools, Corey Jenks, Natalie Jacobson, Whitney Adams, Felicia Von Wisey, and Emily Goers. Thank you for your leadership and friendship. You inspire me every day. Reparative teaching wouldn't exist without you all and our shared transformative leadership. I could not have undertaken this journey without the support of my husband, Jimmy. Thank you for your unwavering support throughout this program and also in life. Thank you for believing in me, cheering me on, and never allowing me to quit. I am so extremely grateful for you and I love you. Thank you to my 3 sons, Finnegan, Ronan, and Cormac. Thank you for your patience and understanding when I was absent from some of your events so I could be home and write or so I could attend class. Thank you for always lifting my spirits and filling our home with lots of noise and lots of laughter. Finally, thank you so much to my parents, my siblings, and to the Larkins for continually supporting me and my family so that I could invest my time and attention into my doctoral program. Thank you.
We're almost done, almost there. Buenos días, bienvenidos a todos ustedes. Es un placer estar aquí con ustedes. Me imagino que están increíblemente orgullosos de esta gran meta de todos sus familiares también. I am Dr. Maria del Carmen Salazar, Associate Dean of Faculty Affairs and Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Justice here at the Morgridge College of Education. I have some thank yous, and then we're going to celebrate our graduates, and then we're going to move over to the reception, which I think we're all really looking forward to, right? First of all, I want to thank our newest doctors. The D and the R in front of your name is knowledge. It signals knowledge, opportunity, power, and impact. Thank you for choosing the Morgridge College of Education. Thank you for learning, for teaching, for leading, and for transforming. Thank you to all of your families and friends for your support and your belief. It was really amazing to see the joy on your faces and the pride, and also to see your children, right? The joy that they had, how they were so happy to claim you, included our little infant as well. They were so happy to claim you, and your welcome was pretty awesome too. So thank you for all of your commitment and your belief and your love. Thank you to our community partners. We have so many community partners that give us an opportunity to create transformative spaces and to have an impact and to learn and grow from them as well. Thank you to our phenomenal faculty. It was so inspiring to see our students, to give them such warm hugs and to see the joy and to hear you all talk about the impact that we are all having on your lives. And thank you to our faculty for leading educational change across the nation and the world. Thank you to our staff for all that you do to support our students and our faculty and our programs. And thank you to the MCE Events Planning Committee. They've been working really hard on the events. Yes, thank you. Thank you to Tamara Tab, Alexandra Welch, Anna Feria, and Josh Davies, who have been meeting weekly for a very long time now, or at least it feels like a long time, to make sure that all of our events are wonderful and they honor you. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our Dean, Michelle Knight Manuel, Dr. Michelle Knight Manuel. Thank you so much for all that you do. You are the hardest working person that I know. Thank you for your belief in our college. Thank you for your unwavering support for our programs and our faculty and our students and our staff. And I also want to thank your husband, Tim, for loving our dean and being patient and supportive as well. We are a community, we are a family. This is my almost 20th year at the University of Denver, and I am also an alum of the University of Denver. Yes, this has been my home for a very long time. And I hope that it will continue to be your home as well. Please stay in touch with us, share your amazing work with your advisors, with us, with our marketing team, and help us spread the word about your great, amazing impact and the joy that you're bringing to the world. At this time, I invite our newest doctors to stand. And let's congratulate them. Felicidades. I was just at a high school graduation, my sons. I don't know if you want to throw your I don't think so, right? I think we're going to keep them. I think we're going to keep them. So congratulations to you all. Felicidades. We do have a reception that is all ready for you at the Mortgage College of Education at Catherine Rufado Hall. Follow the crowds. You'll see also people out there. I want to ask you that when you hear the music, we allow first our newest doctors to move out in the same way that you came in. And then all of the rest of our doctors will also come out in the same way they came in. And then I invite the rest of you to leave as well and to move over to our reception. Thank you very much again.
Here's the